Howdy, everyone. Alrighty, so let's see. Where did we leave off last week with my latest video? I believe I had wrapped up. Obviously, I had wrapped up the riveting with the top skin, and I believe I had talked about a method that I use to get in between this manifold and this one rivet here, a method of using a squeezer to actually get in here and squeeze that rivet, which was the same method that I had used to redo this hinge, to get in areas like this down here with the squeezer. So I think that was the last video that I had posted, talked about that kind of stuff. But the last big thing was getting this top skin riveted. That was a time-lapse video. And of course, you can see now that that is complete. And I've cleaned up all of the excess fire stop that was used in different places. That's all been cleaned up. So the next step for me, I am still not quite ready to go back to the engine cowling. I did make progress with the engine cowls. I brought them up from the basement. So that's about as far as I've gotten. But I've decided to bring up the canopy as well. The reason why I wanted to start on, to go back to working with canopy stuff is, well, for one thing, the cockpit is all open, right? And I keep throwing sheets over top of it to keep the dust and whatever else out of there. And I didn't want the canopy in the way while I was working on these things up here and working on stuff inside. So the canopy, at that point, it made sense to have the canopy just completely off. But now I'm thinking, since everything inside here is done and the top skin is now on, maybe I should just go ahead and put the canopy back in and keep it closed, and then everything will be covered and protected, and hopefully I'll be able to keep things cleaner with the canopy on while I focus on stuff up front. But of course, one thing leads to another, right? So before I do that, or while I'm doing that, I want to go ahead and tie up a couple of more loose ends, which includes these couple of wires here. And I just have them laying in here, but I've got my couple of GPS antennas that also need to be dealt with. So before I just willy-nilly put the canopy back on, I want to take care of those things. So these wires are for lights that I plan on putting underneath the canopy glare shield that sticks out. I want to put lights up underneath that. That's what these wires are for. The switch is already in place. I just have to connect the wires. And I have this edging material that I had bought when I bought my interior. This gets put on the actual edge here of the instrument glare shield. And those lights that I just talked about are going to go underneath here. So, and then I also need to figure out how I'm going to run. I need to put a hole inside here for to go up through the glare shield, so I can run that wire for the lights that are going to go here. And I also want to run my GPS cables that are going to go through here, so I can mount my GPS antennas on top of the glare shield. So that's what I'm going to work on next. So I have to drill a hole or two, run some wires, drill the holes for the edging, and then I believe I can go ahead and put the canopy back on. However, I'm contemplating on wrapping this. I have some vinyl wrap that I had bought to kind of start fooling around with. I've never done it before, so I bought some wrap. I think I may go ahead and try to wrap this before I put it back in place. So some edging, some wires, some antennas, a general cleaning, maybe some vinyl wrap, and then back on the airplane. Then onto the cowling. So that's kind of the plan. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to get started on the wiring first, and then see what I can get into after that. All right. Talk to you guys later. Howdy, everyone. Okay, well, I'm getting closer and closer to getting back to working on the engine cowlings for this airplane. But I'm taking another little side step here first. So, like in my previous video, I've been working on this canopy, just tying up loose ends. It's probably not very visible at the moment, but this is my, I don't know what it's called exactly. I'm drawing a blank, but it's basically just the this edge cover. It actually, this is the underside of the glare shield. So this trim piece wraps around the front edge of the glare shield, and it lays on top about 2 inches, and it wraps around underneath like you see here. And these are the screws. I don't know if those are going to be visible. Those are the screws that hold it in place. That came with my interior kit when I ordered my seats and everything else. This glare shield edge trim piece was part of that. So I got that in place, and I now have my LED strip in place. I've got the wire run. I just used a simple thermocouple connector. This is what is this? This is a Type K. A Type K thermocouple connector, just as a quick disconnect, because if I take the canopy off, I need to unplug it. I've got that done. And now I've got my hole here. You can see that hole maybe there for the my GPS antennas, for those wires to come out here and get connected. I also have to work on that. But one of the last things that I'm going to do is vinyl wrap the outside of this canopy frame. So before I permanently install the canopy onto the airplane, I want to have it finished so I don't have to take it back off. And having it finished means I'm going to wrap it. So I'm kind of in the mood to do that. I've never wrapped anything before, so this is going to be my first attempt. I probably set up a time-lapse video initially because, like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm not going to have any real good, useful information on the processes that I use because I haven't done any. So maybe I'll just set up a time-lapse initially, and as I go through it, if I've got some helpful hints, I'll come back and talk about them. But the plan now is to get it wrapped, and then I can install it on the airplane, and then I can hook up my GPS antennas and get that wire connected there for the LEDs, and then I can go back to the engine cowling. So that's kind of the plan at the moment. We'll see how things go. Talk to you guys later.